Is your Charge 5 Fitbit sending you important health messages that you are overlooking? That's the question. My Charge 5 is programmed, as you can see, my heart rate is rather high. That's important signal number one. Your heart rate should be below 90 typically if you're just standing around as I am, making a video, doing housework, hanging around the house. You should not be up into the 100 ranges unless you're doing some form of exercise. So if your heart rate is showing higher than you think it should, or than your target rate is, that's important safety signal number one. Now, the Charge 5 comes with two sensors on the side that allow you to check for abnormal heartbeats and things like that. My personal experience was that my historic heart rate has been quite low, 50, 60, below 70, typically in a resting state. That's very low, and I would go to try to use the Charge sensors, and they would tell me, oh, your heart rate's too slow. And then there's other times when I thought, like, my finger temperature is not warm enough, it wasn't sensing. So even if you're being diligent, those sensors may not be reading correctly. But there's no denying that a fast heart rate is something you should pay attention to. In my own case, I went to Lifeline screening. My heart rate had been running high for a couple of months, and they pulled me aside and said, hey, this is important. You need to go talk to your doctor. This is called tachycardia, meaning a fast beating heart. And it could be, it's an abnormal heartbeat of some sort. Well, it turns out there's something called atrial fibrillation, also known as AFIB, where your heart beats normally with some degree of irregularity, but AFib is a high degree of irregularity, and the heart rate is not, you really can't see it. You're really not going to get an accurate reading of it without an EKG, which your doctor will be glad to run for you, and if you catch something wrong, it will be time well worth it. So again, my story, I'm an active guy. I run every day. I eat a ketogenic diet with some extra fiber, and I'm pretty darn healthy for my age. But the day they called me and said, your new Corvette came in, my heart started racing. And it hadn't slowed down since, even after I sold the Corvette. But no matter what the trigger is, if you start noticing that it's going to throw off the metrics for the Charge 5. For example, you're running. If it's telling you you're going further than you know you have, that's the Charge is trying to tell you something. If you're burning too many calories, that's another way the Charge is telling you something. Now, apparently the Charge, the way they've got the program running, it's all driven off of a regular heartbeat. If all of a sudden you're getting an AFib heart rate and their sensors are reading out twice the normal activity level because your heart's beating, a normal heart would be indicating that you are working really, really hard. Well, then, yeah, you're going to burn more calories, and it's going to show up on your device in that way. But here again, if your device is not making sense, that's a good opportunity for you to go investigate further. Don't just ignore it. Otherwise, the Charge 5, I love the thing. As you can see, I've got it set to where it's telling me what my heart rate is. There's some important things that you can find on your app, and hopefully I'll replace the screenshot. But if you look at your sleep cycles, you definitely want to look at your sleep cycle every day, and you might even want to keep a sleep log because it tells you how much time you're getting in REM, how much time you're getting in deep sleep, and how much your overall time is. And it also gives you some indication if you've had a restless night. That's very good information to have, and I would run a log on that. Frankly, I've been doing it since this incident developed, but it's something that makes a lot of sense. The other thing is, if you on your app, when you go into the program itself, you can, let me see if I can find it here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see this or not. Yes, you can. You can see this is a daily heart rate. This is so far today. You can see that I have most of mine is down in the green, but also look here. Look up at the top here, and you can see how many minutes you've actually spent in the 3 different heart zones. And what the first thing you should know is that the cardio and peak, they're taking those minutes and they're doubling them. So your actual time in that state is being manipulated in order to give you points to help you develop your fitness. But the reality of what your heart is doing, you have to get to this screen to see what your heart is doing. And I would recommend, just as a general thing, take a look at it at the end of every day or at the beginning every day. I've noticed that if I'm getting a good night's sleep, I'm down in the green all night long, very few peaks. And it'll also tell you if you have a problem waking up in the middle of the night because your melatonin cycle's off a little bit. It will give you an indication of that, because your heartbeat will go up. Whenever you get up to go to the bathroom or what have you, when you wake up, it's going to show up here on the Fitbit, and that's really key information. So all of this, as you all know, everything fitness-wise ties together. So using the Fitbit, it's wonderful. My personal thing is I like it better than the Apple. I think Apple has good technology, but I don't like the displays. I think it's, I just prefer the Fitbit. That's all I need to say. I'm waiting patiently for Apple or someone to come out with a screen that I can read with I wear a 250 reader, so that tells you how bad my vision is. But I'm waiting for someone to realize, oh, hey, there's people out there whose vision is not so good. Maybe we need to make the numbers a little bit bigger so that they can be read with the naked eye. And that hasn't happened yet, but I'm waiting for someone to give me a continuous readout of heartbeat and blood pressure. When somebody does that, they're going to make a fortune, because guys like me, and women if you're a fitness buff, you're going to want that, because tracking your heart in today's world is especially key. We are not getting the nutrients we need. We're not getting the exercise we need. We're all stressed out. We're not getting the sleep we need. And it's hitting our hearts collectively. It's hitting all our hearts very hard. And we need to take care of our hearts and get our stress under control and live a long and healthy life. And I hope that's what you do. And I hope that this little tip about how to use your Charge 5 Fitbit doesn't just go in one ear and out the other. There's all kinds of options in there to help you optimize your health. And I'm hoping that maybe someone at Fitbit will pay attention to this so that their AFIB warning comes up sooner and better in a more intelligible form than it currently does at this stage of development. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. God bless. Have a good day.